So the air is crisp, the skies are clear, and there's miles of unconquered trails in front of you. It is the perfect day to ride your dirt bike. Now as the days wind on and the miles add up, you start to become complacent, less aware, maybe even a little bored. And that's when it happens. That tree in the middle of the trail came out of nowhere. Too late to adjust, you brace for impact. And that's when it hits you. I wish I had my helmet on. Now this simple day of riding your dirt bike just became serious. Without a helmet, the injuries you're about to obtain just became life-threatening. Good evening. My name is Jerry Davis, and today I want to talk about some protective equipment you should utilize while riding your dirt bike. So now before I jump into the equipment itself, let's talk about some injuries you are leaving yourself vulnerable to without the use of the helmet. Now it's common knowledge that you are much more prone to injuries if you're not utilizing any safety equipment. Now don't get me wrong, head injuries can occur with or without a helmet. However, if you wreck without a helmet, those injuries are just a lot more serious, even life-threatening. Some of the injuries you could obtain are a skull fracture, concussions. You could even knock yourself unconscious. Now, if you knock yourself unconscious and you're near a body of water or by yourself, you're in a lot of trouble. You could drown, or maybe days, even weeks before anyone can find you. Now, the use of a helmet greatly reduces the risks of knocking yourself unconscious or obtaining concussions. Now, injuries to the eyes and face are another thing to consider. Fractured cheekbones, or even eye impalements that lead to permanent blindness, can all be combated with the use of a helmet and goggle combination. So now that I talked about some injuries you could obtain without the use of any equipment, let's talk about the equipment itself. Now the bottom line is, helmets save lives. Now any individual could walk into any store and buy any type of helmet. So it is important to know what you're looking for before you purchase any kind of helmet. Now according to Joe Winfield, a United States Air Force safety representative, there are two separate agencies that certify roadworthy helmets. The first is the DOT, and the second is the Snell Memorial Foundation. Now, both agencies put a sticker of their brand somewhere on the helmet, marking that they have met the safety criteria. On my example, the DOT has placed a sticker on the back base of the helmet. Now, it is possible for stores to buy these DOT stickers separately, so it is very important that you are buying from a legitimate business. Now, this is an overall view of my helmet. As you can see, like I mentioned, Snell DOT. That sticker being on the base there tells me, and anyone who's using that helmet, that it is crash rated and roadworthy. Now I did mention some injuries that can occur to your eyes as well. Now I want to talk about the safety goggles. Now your head is not the only vulnerable spot on your body. Eye injuries can be severe and lead to permanent blindness. Wearing goggles, by wearing safety goggles or riding goggles, you're only helping yourself stay safe. Though not regulated by the DOT, it is important to wear safety goggles while riding your dirt bike. Now, some people wear sunglasses, but it is important to make sure you are wearing something that is shatter resistant. Any type of sunglass can shatter into your eyes, and that's only going to lead to more injuries. Now, it is also important to make sure your goggles fit. How do they fit? They could either fit over your face or over your helmet as a whole. Goggles that do not fit could fall down, slide around, and hinder your eyesight, and that almost defeats the entire purpose of them. If they are too loose, that can happen. Now, if these goggles are too tight, they're going to stretch out that band. That band could either become loose, and thus we have the falling off part, or if the band becomes too tight, they are prone to ripping and falling off altogether. Now I wanted to show you a proper fit of the safety goggles with the helmet. As you can see here, the goggles are shatter resistant, and they have a band that stretches all the way around the helmet. Now this band, not too loose, has some play in it, and that shows me that they're going to stay snug, and then they're not going to fall off. And it shows that they're not going to tear if they're under some stress. Now, safety is a major concern while riding. It is important that you take care of yourself while you're riding your dirt bike. Now, people who ride dirt bikes or ATVs share an exhilarating hobby. Most serious riders are aware of these dangers associated with the riding. The others who do not ride on a regular basis may not be aware of these risks. So I talked about some of the dangers you could face: concussions, skull fractures, knocking yourself unconscious, eye impalements, permanent blindness, things of that nature. I talked about my helmet, how it's DOT regulated, how you know it is DOT regulated. And then I talked about the goggles. My goggles are shatter resistant, and they fit securely around my helmet, showing me that they're not going to fall off. Now, I hope if you're not an avid rider, but only an occasional one, I have raised your awareness on these safety standards. Thank you for your time.